addict named Robert. Uh, this addict that I'm about to introduce is my sponsee, but more than that, he's my friend. Uh, it's a beautiful thing to come in this fellowship and meet somebody and build a relationship like we built. I mean, sponsorship is a two-way street, but, I could have never dreamed of having a guy like this in my life. He keeps me buoyant. He keeps me on my toes. He's just there for me. Thank God for him choosing me. Like I say, he keeps me buoyant. We do things together. And I just watch him. I just watch him walk this recovery thing, the way he helps other addicts, stepping outside himself, always for the underdog, always willing to help out and go that extra mile, and I really just can't imagine myself with him not in my life. It's really that simple. He's my brother, and I love him, and he's going to give you a powerful message tonight. Trust me. Sit back. Hold on to your seat, because here it comes. Come on up, Rob.
Please, can we have a moment of silence for the addict who still suffers? God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Let me take a few minutes to breathe. This is a wonderful, wonderful journey. I'd like to thank everybody. I'm not going to mention everybody's name, but I'd like to take time to thank the committee for calling me back when it was cold as hell in Detroit to come up to Camp Mac. I think Maria called me first to relay the message and how we connected. And that was a motivating phone call for me to be asked to come share my hopes, strengths, and experiences. Because like many years before then, I've sat out there looking forward to this moment for whoever they asked to share, come share. And I was thinking about this a while ago. Someone asked me, Robert, did I know what I was going to talk about? You know how that is. But no, you don't never know. I don't have to know. All I need to know is when I get up here, I give y'all back a part of me, my strengths, my hopes, and my experiences. And I've had some experiences and a whole lot of hope on this road to recovery. One of the things I want to mention tonight is that for the new member that's here this weekend, after hearing that workshop a while ago about friends, I realized something, that no matter where you go from here, if you here this weekend, you will never be the same. Your life will change for the better. Tomorrow we will have reflections. Tonight we're going to have some reflections. My sponsor said a lot, and a lot of stuff he said is so right. Camp Mac have done something for me the first time I came up here. The very first time I came all alone. And after that year, I ran back to Detroit to tell them all what a wonderful place this was. But I didn't get many people to agree with me, you know what I'm saying? So I think I got my sponsee, Walt came back with me, and a few other members of our home group came back. And we might have had about 2 carloads at the most or something like that. But then one year I remember we had about 5 carloads come up here, you know? So I've been coming back for maybe over 11 years now. And I need to just give you a little information about Robert W. I found narcotics by way of treatment. I came in the program in 1985 through treatment, had a counselor. I had a bad heroin addiction. I was asked to make meetings. In that year, I went in treatment, stayed about 30 days and came out and went back and shot some more drugs. It got bad real fast that time. Went right back to the same treatment center. Stayed another 30 days, came back out. And I think this time I was introduced to crack. So I smoked crack for about 5 years. That's all I needed of that. And that led me to, I sold dope to the police. And so, of course, they don't like that, right? But if I back up a little bit, just to give you a little history about, you need to understand something. I practiced using drugs for a lot over 20 years. Started out as probably about 13, for sure, I know when I made my decision to pick up. And that was a marijuana and some wine, which led to penny caps, a mixed jive, and on and on. In my teenage days, I started shooting heroin, and I remember making a decision to go shoot some heroin. Now, mind you, most of the time when we make a decision to shoot drugs, it's because we see that as addicts, it looked like it was something that was affecting them pretty well. And so if you was anything like me, I wanted to try it, and I did. And I told him when I shot my first blow, I wasn't going back. I was just going to do that one, and I'll see you. But I was right back the next weekend again. So anyway, that escalated, that got bad, and years went on. I dropped out of school. And just to give you a little history about school, I know this, that since I've been in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, I've done school, went to school. I've not been an easy learner. When I came in the program, I could not read. And I said to myself, that is not going to be an excuse for me to leave the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And I didn't. I went to meetings, and I opened up the book. I won my first book at the home group that I'm still a member of, 18 years. I won my first book at that meeting out of treatment. I went to that meeting, and I said, well, I won something. This sounds like a good place to be a home group. So it's been my home group ever since. And backing up, a lot of things y'all had I didn't have when I got here. A lot of things I seen y'all have I wanted. And it was all right if I didn't have them. I kept coming anyway. I found out that I didn't have to have all the things I thought I had to have to stay here. And that's what kept me coming back. And you need to understand, we're talking about friends this weekend. I didn't know what friendship was when I first got here. My best friend was drugs. And I used drugs a lot. And I needed all the help I could get when I got here. And I'm so grateful I came in the rooms after selling dope to the police and doing 90 days of treatment. In 1991, I decided to find the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And my first meeting I went to was on a Saturday when I got out of treatment. And I found my first sponsor in treatment, and he lasted for a while. He got me into H&I my first year. I couldn't read. Again, I tell you, I could not read that well. But you didn't have to be able to read. All you had to do was be able to carry a message. And the message was I wasn't using. That was the message. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this disease, somebody gonna use. My sponsor went out and used. So I've had 2 sponsors since then, and I went through this program about a year without a sponsor, and it was like I was feeling like this is not right. You know what I'm saying? But what it was my sponsor had used, and I hadn't seen him. And I still, being so young in the rooms, probably what I done was try to make myself believe, like, you know, we good believers and make believe people. And so I make believe that I still had a sponsor. Actually, my sponsor had disappeared. And through the grace of God, I went to the West Side, and God didn't want me to worry anymore. And God allowed me to find his sponsor. And I walked up on his sponsor at the meeting, and immediately, when I seen him, I said, "Have you seen my sponsor?" He said, "Robert, as soon as I get through, I got something I want to tell you." And when he said that, I was sure to know what it was. And so I had to go on the search for a new sponsor, and things was like it was. I found my new sponsor that I have today. And man, it's been a hell of a ride. We've been riding this journey together along with him and my sponsees. And, you know, they say, you know, in the rooms, they told me when I first got here, the sponsorship was the heartbeat of NA. I really believe that today. You know, I just got through having a few words with my sponsor before I came up on the podium. And we was reminiscing a few minutes. And just, people tell us all the time that we stick pretty close together. And I can't imagine, I can't even fathom what would happen if one of these guys in my circle come up missing. But I'm not worried about that. I just got faith that we're supposed to be together as long as we're supposed to be together. And boy, we've been having a hell of a ride, man. We've been doing things, going places. And of course, you know, I always keep him on his toes. That's my job, you know what I'm saying? Keep his ass going. I don't want him to get tired, you know? So I'm like that. That's part of who I am. I'm bouncing back and forth because I feel like that right now. I'm full. That's really good to be full, ain't it? You know, done had barbecue tonight, and I mentioned about school. I heard it shared a while ago at the workshop, and I need to share this, that a lot of things that I didn't and couldn't do when I got here in the rooms, I didn't worry about it. I looked in the rooms and I saw y'all. And y'all gave me hope that I didn't have for Robert W. when I got here. And let me share this. There's something in the basic text. It says, "We found that no matter what our thoughts and actions were, others have felt and done the same. We found that no matter what our thoughts, we have found that no matter what our past thoughts or actions were, others have felt and done the same. Surrendered by fellow addicts, we realize that we are not alone anymore. And when I found y'all, I wasn't alone anymore, right? And I knew that. And all I had to do, keep on remembering that. So again, when I came in the rooms from treatment, I was frightened, I was scared. I didn't have any parents. I didn't have any brothers. I didn't have any sisters. I had one brother living, and he was staying in St. Louis at the time. My brother used to come here regularly to visit our mother. But I was using real bad when my brother would come here to visit his mother, our mother. And I could not explain to him why I had to keep leaving out the house. And he couldn't understand what was wrong with me, you know? But I was using real bad. So anyway, my brother got sick and passed on. But before he passed on, thank God for the steps, I was able to fly to St. Louis and be with my brother. And when I got there, after I got settled in, I asked him, I said, I need to go to a meeting. And we looked and found a meeting in the area that he was from. And we went to this meeting. And on our way to the meeting, I looked over at him and I had to tell him that I wanted to apologize for all the harm that I had put him through in my active addiction. My brother looked back at me and he said, Robert, I knew one day that you would overcome this. I couldn't understand how he would know that, but he knew that. And that's what this hope thing is all about. For many years, people was praying for us when we couldn't pray for ourselves. A lot of us sitting in the seats tonight is here through the prayer of our loved ones. So I encourage you, if you here tonight and you have loved ones you haven't visited in a while, you might want to take a notion to go visit them, because after all, you know, we gonna be here. When you get back from your little visit, we'll still be here. You don't take but an hour, maybe 30, 40 minutes to drop in and say hello. You know, they might not still be mad at you for what you done, you know? I done a lot of harm to my mother and to my father. But of course, you understand, I couldn't let that be a reason for me not to stay in these rooms. Through the steps of these programs, I was able to make amends to my loved ones, to my kids. So anyway, my brother took me on to the meeting. And when we got to the meeting, it was this little white church in this rural area. And for a minute there, I said, no, I don't think so, man. I don't think I want to. Woo. And, but I guess my little ego said, oh, no, we got to go in there, Robert. And I heard earlier when someone spoke about color, addiction don't discriminate. And I understand that today. That's the reason why it's important for us to listen to the readings. Because it don't matter what color, race, creed. I don't know about y'all, but when I was smoking crack, I would smoke crack with orangutan. It don't really matter. So I don't want to get up in here and think color matter. But it was kind of cute, man, when I got there and he dropped me off. And I went downstairs, and most of the cats that was at the meeting, man, was bikers, right? So they had beards and leather jackets and shit. I was like, oh, boy, this is going to be real interesting. But a beautiful thing happened. It's like it don't matter where we go. No matter where we go, once you get in the door and kind of get a hug maybe, you know what I'm saying, to sit down, have a cup of coffee, and you hear something said or somebody say, hey, brother, where you from? You say, wherever. And they hug you and embrace you, you feel at home. And that's what I did. I felt right at home. And a wonderful thing happened along the way. That day, at that meeting, that particular meeting, they were doing a 9th step. And mind you, I had just made amends to my brother. They were doing the 9th step, Cynthia. You know, it was just all in divine order. And so that's just one of the miracles that's happened on this journey, on this road to recovery. So many other wonderful things, man. I'm grateful. Again, like I said, my brother passed away, and I was able to say some things to him, and I'm glad that I didn't have to lose any sleep over that. I had to go and visit my mother's sisters and brothers, man, because, of course, when you have effect on your parents, when you do your parents harm, it affects their loved ones too. So I needed to make amends to all of my aunties and uncles. I don't have to do that anymore. They accepted my amends. This was like over 15 years ago. I did that early. I think I had about 2 or 3 years when I done that. And I did just what I'm doing now. I got in front of the mic and asked them to forgive me because I put their sister through a lot, you know. And today I know that wasn't me. That was the disease of addiction, you know. And but for so much for that, let's talk about the good stuff, the real good stuff, the real good stuff. You know, the real good stuff is I ain't all that thrilled about mics and all that. How about that? But that's how the setup is. And so let me just talk about a little bit about what's going on in my life today. Of course, I told you I make a lot of meetings. I go to a lot of meetings because meetings make sense to me. When I came in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, like I said, I was beat up real bad. And all I wanted somebody to do was care about Robert W. for a little while. And, you know, one of the things I love about us is this. We know when a member is ready to come and stay with us because you don't have to force them to stay. Most of the time when a member is ready to be a member, he'll come in the meeting, he'll have his book like this, and he'll be marking it like, because he know that you can just look at them and tell that they want this. They on time, they there to hear the readings, they there to do some service work. Those are the things that gives us signals that this person is well on his way to recovery. When you see an addict dragging in late all the time, and then you hear him share and he's talking about, yeah, I'm glad to be around this program, chances is he's going to disappear. And we lose them all the time, real fast. And, you know, if you look to your right or to your left of you right now, the person sitting next to you is another spiritual being having a human experience. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of it is, due to the nature of the disease, we're not sure who's going to be here next year. That's the part that makes this so wonderful, is because we hear, you know, when they was at the workshop a while ago, I was sitting there and I was thinking about how important each moment of right now, each moment means to me. Each moment means to me. I make a lot of meetings because meetings make sense. I got a home group that I really love, and I am the oldest member at my home group. And sometimes that disturbs me a lot because I don't know sometimes where to fit in at. You know what I mean? It's like I want to be in the way and I want to be out the way. And I really believe that if I need to keep creating something, some kind of way I can give something to the group to say, hey, let's try this, let's try that. And everything that we've come together and done with our home group, look at them guys over there with them red shirts on. You know what I'm saying? That's home group member material right there. They left me out this year. They didn't ask me to wear mine, though. I still love them. But those are one of the things that I brought to the home group and said, let's try to do. And I'm telling you, man, it's real difficult when you ask a group of people to be on the same accord to do something like as big as, let's put a shirt together and everybody bring a certain amount of money so we can pay for them. Then they get everybody involved and everybody want to have some input. We only talking about a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about, you would think we getting ready to restructure the GM building on Jefferson or something. It gets real serious, man. I done talked about, man, my home group, I love it so much. Sometimes they have beat me so bad down. When I went home, I thought I had just left work. You know what I'm saying? And if it don't be for my sponsor holding me up sometime, I was like, wow, man, what happened? You know, why they're just beating up on me. Feel like they're just beating up on me. But I know this. I know somebody told me, he's no longer with us, but he told me a long time when I was a kid in the program at my home group, he said, because me and him used to conflict a lot. And he was the one used to show me how much it meant to come and stay, get there early, stay late. And he used to, but it always seemed like I had controversy with him. He just rubbed me the wrong way, Bob, you know what I'm saying? And he was the guy, and all he really was trying to do was show his love, you know? But, man, and he told me one day, I was so angry, he had me so hot, and I was steaming at the head when I left there that night. I said, I ain't coming back over there no more. He said, Robert, I had to go home that night and call him on the phone. I had to ask him, I said, man, is there something I done to you or what? And he said, Robert, he said, sometimes we call that growing pain. And that's what I use that today a lot of times with the home group members. From time to time, we have, you know, we always have, we have a lot of women in our home group, right? And so, of course, they had their issues. They had their women issues. And I be saying, sponsor, he be telling me, my sponsor tell me, it's gonna be all right, Robert, they'll be all right. You know, and they will. Eventually, if you just kind of let them they'll do, either they'll stay or they'll go. And we must have about 18 to 20 solid members in our home group right now. And I think that's a real plus for us, you know what I'm saying? We just had our anniversary in April, and it was a really good anniversary. Probably had the best turnout we had. And every year, for the last 5 years or 6 years, we've been having a newcomers day. We have a newcomer where everybody bring a newcomer with you. And we sit outside and we have a podium, open podium for you to come and share. And that's been a good hit. You know, we have a real wonderful turnout, and people always ask us, y'all gonna have that next year? Y'all gonna have that next year? So, you know, those are some of the things that we do at the Recovery on the Quinta group for Narcotics Anonymous. And by the way, we even had Bob over to speak one evening from the Macomb area. And I need to mention, too, Macomb area. You know, that's part of growing up with love, because, you know, I've been working out there for 16 years now, and I've been fellowshipping with Bob in the Macomb area for that many years, you know. And that's really been another good cornerstone to my recovery, because I get the best of both worlds, you know. I get a chance to fellowship with them, and I come home, and sometimes I don't have to be bothered with Detroit. I done got my dose, you know what I'm saying? By the time I get home, people say, Robert, you ain't making no meetings? We ain't seen you at the meeting, Scott, you know what I'm saying? I be like, I done made me a meeting. They be like, how you make a meeting already? You worked today, didn't you? You know what I'm saying? But those are some of the benefits. I need to also mention that where I work at is a variety of meetings. We have all kinds of meetings. We got 3 NA meetings, one on Tuesday, 11 o'clock, one on Friday, 11 o'clock, and one at 7 on Friday evenings. That's the big meeting they have. That's the big meeting they have, you know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, every meeting, every place have a big meeting, you know what I'm saying, where everybody gather at. Man, you know, we ain't using dope no more after all, right? So I'm grateful for my home group. My sponsees, I got and my sponsorship family. You know, I need to mention them too. You know, my sponsorship family has held me up a lot. I need to also mention that I'm grateful to be back in the mainstream of my higher power. Because for a while, it was looking kind of dim for Robert. When Derek called me in December, January, and I got the call, I just need to share this with anybody that's struggling with your recovery. And if you anything like me, clean time counts, but clean time ain't everything. You're going to make some decisions in Narcotics Anonymous that's going to change your circumstances. So that's the reason why we be on the newcomers case so much, because we encourage you to get this when you get here. Because if you mess around and miss what you're supposed to get when you first get here, it's going to be harder. You got to remember, if you anything like me, I came in this program in denial with a bag full of garbage. You know, and I had to take spot check inventory to look in my bag and see how much I'm carrying today. Because it ain't every day I'm recovering. You might catch me recovering today, and tomorrow I'm just clean. Oh, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't do that. Let me check and see if I'm in the right place. I was sitting there a while ago, and I thought to myself, I said, you know, I need to share this, that the reason why I really keep coming back a lot is because I'm confused a lot of days. A lot of days we have on these happy faces, but for real, we confused. Based on your decisions, you know you confused. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, that's the reason why we so glad to get back here, I believe, because we confused. We need to hurry up and get back somewhere where we don't have to be concerned with confusion too much. Up here, you kind of like, you know, just, Lord, you know, I mean, for real. You know, you come up here and you get a peace of mind, but by the time you start getting back to the neighborhood, you be saying, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, because a lot of things disturb us. A lot of things we disturbed by, man. You know, so don't get it twisted. I'm grateful for my significant other. She a wonderful lady in my life. Some of y'all seen me with her this weekend. She been holding me up. I'm talking about some serious stuff been going on in my life. I've been challenged with another part of my disease that I didn't know I had problems with. And through the support of her, and not only that, but what about through the support of some spiritual principles? See, and people ask you, you know, how many years you got, Robert? Well, I got 18 years clean, right? But all that ain't recovery. I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Some days is better than other days, Bob. And sometimes you will find yourself trying to seek pleasures in other places. And along this journey, I did. They got 3 big old places down there that's built down in the Detroit area. Oh, sound like somebody might know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they call them, some people call them dope houses, but they got a popular name, they call them casinos. Now, I'm not sharing my story to encourage anybody this evening, because due to the nature of this disease, we know that our disease will set you up in a meeting. It will listen to another recovering addict share its dilemma, and it would tell you they didn't do something right. I was that guy. Evidently, my disease told me that. All I need to say this evening, as I share before you all, that I'm grateful, again, that Daryl and them called me to ask me to share, because that was another cornerstone for me to get out of the dilemma that I was in. Things were getting real bad for Robert W. And see, I know who I'm in the rooms with, we are very good actors. We can act like we are all right and really be hurting. Some of us hurting right now. We just ain't told nobody. But if you are hurting tonight, ask God to give you the courage to tell somebody. Because this is a good opportunity to free yourself. You can leave it right here at Camp Mac. If I need to do a fifth step with somebody, tonight is a good night to do it with somebody. I had to go to my sponsor, and I had to go to my significant other and tell him that I had a gambling problem. I didn't want to tell nobody because my disease said we don't need to share that with nobody because that might mess up your reputation, Robert. Do y'all hear me? Oh, y'all don't have no reputation, huh? Everybody that comes in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous have a reputation. You will get one. They call it clean time reputation. But through the grace of a loving God and getting honest with these principles, I had to go back to step one. It says, most addicts will see that control is impossible the moment you suggest it. Some of us tonight want to control something right now. Somebody, something, or some person. The other thing I had to go back and look at was many of us tried to stop using on sheer willpower. There was many nights that I left the casino and I wanted to be all right and I wasn't all right. And I wanted to try to quit on my own and it just wasn't working. And what I found myself doing was continuing to dig a hole. What I'm trying to share with you is take casino off of it, okay? Just put drugs on it. Because that's just what it felt like. But guess what? It also felt like in the beginning it was fun. It's always fun in the beginning. I say that to say tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that what you will lose in here when you use is your spirituality. And I almost lost all of mine. Those places like that don't have no respect for recovering addicts. You just another human being trying to get a hit. You know, so more than that, like I shared with my sponsor, here's the wonderful part about it all, is that I was able to go to my wonderful woman and tell her my problems. And she said, I'll still be there for you. I was able to go to my sponsor and fess up to my sponsor and tell my sponsor what my problem was. And he suggested some things to me, but of course I didn't take them. You know what I'm saying? I still thought I could do it on my own. And you know what? More than that, it felt shameful. I felt ashamed that I had 18 years and had ran across something that I had lost control of. And so I am tickled pink this evening that if it wasn't for the opportunity to come up here and share, that was one of the other better reasons that I respect recovery so much, and the people in the fellowship, which is y'all, I respect y'all so much that I had to surrender to something that was about to kill me, because I was not going to afford myself to come up in front of y'all this evening and act like I was living clean and living a lie. I wasn't going to do it. So whatever it takes to motivate you to get you back on the path, let it be. Because I'm grateful to be back on the path to recovery again. I'm so grateful, ever so grateful. You understand? Only thing now I do is when I get mail and get those mail. When I get mail now, I see the evidence of my disease of addiction in them numbers. But I can live with that part today. You know what I'm saying? I can live with that part today because I was about to lose my sanity. You know, so it's so many wonderful things I want to share. Look, let me share this. It says on page 133, the program is my life today. All the pain that I felt during my using led me to more pain. But every ounce of pain that I experienced in the program, staying clean brings me more growth and more peace. The only way that the empty place inside me could ever feel is through the steps of the program. The things that I have learned since coming here would fill this book. I did not know how to live, and the program is teaching me more. For the first time, I am finally facing that old enemy, me. I am learning to accept myself and even to like myself, a day at a time. And that's the wonderful thing about recovery. If you wander off course, and from time to time, if you stay clean, chances is you will. But you can wander back, you can get back on course again. My significant other asked me today, what do they mean when they say to grow with love? And I said, you can put whatever you want to put in there. We do grow with love. When I came up here, I didn't know anybody personally. You know what I'm saying? The gentleman that invited me to come up here is no longer with us. He deceased. He used to work at the MSO office. And he knew that I made a lot of conventions. And he said, Robert, come here, let me put something in your ear. And he invited me to come up here. He told me how to get up here. And, you know, I was buoyant, man. I used to jump on an airplane, a bus, or a helicopter, anything. I was looking for y'all, you know. And I mean, I was getting them good at one time. And I remember Cynthia saying in the workshop a while ago that along this journey, your circumstances going to change. You might be riding high now and then riding kind of low later on. That's just the way it's going to be. Don't think it's going to stay the same. Get ready for change. Just get ready for change. And then it's funny, but we should be the best one that changes, man, because I don't know about y'all, but I was always trying to change seats on the crashing plane. You know, just give me one more, whatever it is, let me try that, you know. So, you know, change is going to happen, man. Change is going to happen. You know, due to the economy, I haven't had a raise on my job in many years. Not only that, they took 10% of my pay this year. But you know what? I still ain't went hungry. I ain't been hungry. Been still able to buy a little Ajax, a little, you know what I mean? You know, but that's what we do up in here. I've been here long enough and done enough in Narcotics Anonymous and helped enough people, man, that I really believe it really got tight today. Somebody would be willing to help me. And it has been times it's been tight. Well, like I say, through that storm that I was in, shit got real tight. You know, real tight, you know. My refrigerator, man, for a while there, it was like, it just like when I was smoking crack. You know, I opened the refrigerator door and it was the same way all over again, you know, like empty. I was like, damn. And I was in denial because I really didn't want to believe, well, maybe I just need to go to the supermarket, that's all. You know what I'm saying? But again, because the circumstances that took place on my job, it's been quite frightening. But I believe if we just hold on, I mean, we good survivors. We are. We need to give ourselves a little credit up in here. We are wonderful and good survivors up in here. We know how to survive through a storm, you know. So, I got a lot of gratitude, man. It just it don't feel like I need to. Sometimes I'm a little bit more lucid than I am, but tonight I have a great respect for where I'm at right now, where this program has brought me. That's probably the reason why I'm on my best behavior. A lot of times. So I got a little more humor than I am right now, but I don't want to give the wrong message out here. Some people know me, and it's the right time for everywhere. But I'm a guy of laughter, and I like to make people smile. You know what I'm saying? I do. I really, really do. Now, if I really get loose up here, I shut the thing down. But I'm going to be, I think I pretty much covered everything I want to cover. I'd like to thank God for my kids. My kids is my kids, and I can't get out of parenting. You know what I'm saying? I tried, but it don't work. My son, I used to bring him up here. My daughter used to bring her up here. And my grandkids, my granddaughter, I used to bring her up here. But they growing up now. My daughter, 20, my youngest daughter is 20 years old, and, she thinks she the hottest thing since, and anyway, and my oldest daughter, she got her little agenda, and she doing good, and, so my main concern as a parent today is that my son, which is 17, he the piece of work, man. He's the one I'm concerned about the most now. Is he about to get ready to get out of school and high school, and I'm just grateful that y'all gave me the opportunity to help me stay here. And most importantly, I like to ask tonight that y'all continue, no matter where we at, think about each other on this road to recovery. That's what recovery is all about, and especially this particular special place, man, that I found. I'm so glad I found Camp Mac. I don't have to, my co-workers and stuff like that, I can't explain to them what it means to me to get away, Bob. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain to them, Robert, what it means to get away. I am so enriched in Narcotics Anonymous in this program, man. This is the best thing could ever happen to me, because the places that I was going, I was always trying to find a place to fit in. It looked like nowhere, everywhere the people I was around, it was always better people than me. They always seemed to be better than me. I just didn't feel like I could fit. There was something wrong with my face, my skin, my teeth, my eyes. It was something I found fault in me about that made me feel like I was less than. You know what I'm saying? It was only till I got to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, man, when y'all gave me a reason to believe that I am somebody. And for that, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? For that, I'm grateful. Hugs, I hug people today because, I hug. I love, I know how to hug today. I ain't trying to hug you to get to you or hug you to get with you, and I can feel, I've hugged so long in here to where I can feel the fear coming from another human being. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have a hug from me and I can feel you wanting to get away from me, but I know that's fear making you want to run. Right, and I will hold you and embrace you until I feel you know that you are all right. And that's what a hug is really all about. What it say in the basic text is say sometimes a loving hug can mean more to you than anything else. And I just believe that today. Today we can look another human being in the eye and be grateful for who you are. So, I look forward each and every day. Let me share this too. Let me know how much time I have so I don't, tell me do like this, please. And the thing this weekend is just keep it simple. Now, what's simple like for me, right? I go to a job that, if I told y'all this evening that I don't like work, please don't look down at me. I don't like to work. I want the reward without the labor. For real. Now, I might share with y'all, but some days is better than other days. And my significant other got a job where she don't have to go to work, man. I be like, how you do that? How you get a job when you make all the money and stay at home? And so, of course, I don't like to talk to her when I'm at work because I get envy. She be like, I'm just at home. I say, are you on Van Dyke or are you at home? She said, well, I'm at home because I gave the car to my daughter. I said, you working? Yes. Don't sound like it to me. I'm used to hearing bang, clang. You know what I'm saying? But I love her, man. I really do. And she know I love her today. And I need to share that, man. You know, I've been with women in this fellowship. I got a son by a lady in this fellowship. Relationships ain't easy. They are not easy. And I share that because I've had my experience. You know, I tell anybody that's in one, I got sponsees today that's married. That's fine. I don't get in their marriage at all. And if I ever roll over too close to that, please let me know. Because I don't want to be a part of that part. I'm just in it for the sponsorship part. But of course, this is probably the best relationship I've had since I've been in the program. And maybe that's what it's supposed to do, the way that I got 18 years. You know what I'm saying? But I have more respect for this lady than I have for myself in other relationships. She showed me a lot of love. She showed me respect. We trust each other. And those are some of the key elements that's going to hold up in a relationship. It's trust, man. Trust, you know, and all I got to do is keep trusting Robert. And that's my work. That's my work. You know, I honor her, I respect her, I love her, and I say, man, I never, you know, I think if not all of us, from time to time, know that was a missing piece to the puzzle for us that made us go around the corner and pick up drugs, was that we didn't feel loved. At least I've heard it shared at the tables, my story, so I believe that I'm not alone. And to know that love means something to us today. It really does, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why that word is so profound in the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. Love unconditionally, love unconditionally, love unconditionally. It's a love that's undescribable in Narcotics Anonymous. You know what I'm saying? And we had that for one another. You know, sometimes I told my sponsor today, the other day, we was having a conversation since we've been up here about sometimes we can be a little sarcastic too much. You know, sometimes we hurt one another in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous by trying to be funny or crack a joke. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? We really be trying to hurt somebody, but we wanted to make it look like it's a joke. But if the shoe was on the other foot, then you could understand. And sometimes we need to pay attention to what we be saying to people in the rooms. You know, sometimes we can take our sarcasm too far. And then we need to check ourselves and say, hold up, I done went too far. I need to ask God to show me how to stop right now, you know. So anyway, I think I'm ready to close, and I think I'm ready to close with how good God is. We've been doing workshops down in, what's the name of the room down there? Yeah, the Becker room. So today, that picture of God that people pay attention to like I did, it's been there since I've been coming here. in the same place. And when they was up there sharing today, I was looking up at the picture and looking at the picture of God. And I need to share this with y'all, that it says when we come in the program, we get a God of your own understanding. The people that's in your life today, no matter where you go in this program, the one wonderful thing about Narcotics Anonymous, they'll let you get the God of your own understanding. And then sometimes people from time to time will cringe when you talk too highly about your God. And that's okay for me today too, because I do know I have one that's been with me. The same one that's with me when I came here is still with me. It's just that sometimes I tell him I got this, and from time to time I want to be in his seat. You know, and I'll get in the way, and he won't force his goodness on me. But when I look at that picture, when I was young, my first year in recovery, I didn't have an understanding of God, but I know there was one. I went to the bookstore, and I bought his picture. So hopefully that would get a better understanding of who God is. And then from that point on this spiritual journey, it's been good like that. I say all that to say this to the new member this evening that's out there. You don't have to understand this program for it to work. You can be confused right now and still get this program. One of the things that I do today that I've been doing since I've been in the rooms is I don't brag on my higher power, because it's evident of what you do and the way you live that you have one. It's going to show up. The proof is going to show up in the way you live, right? No matter how you ever want to look at it, the way you live is the way it's going to show up that you have a higher power in your life. And I know this evening, this weekend, the reason why we're back here again is because a miracle is taking place for everybody. A miracle is taking place. And in closing, at that workshop, I looked at coming here like your first NA meeting. I always say this: when you come into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, where Angela at? There she is right there. 3 days clean, y'all. Give her a hand. That's the baby of our home group. That's the piece of work of our home group. That's our struggle right there. My sponsor just told me that's our job, Robert. A couple of home group members just had a good talk with her. We made sure she got up here to experience this. Because I didn't come up here for her. I came up here for her and my significant other to experience this. Because I believe this. For them two, it's just like a newcomer coming to your first meeting. If you're thinking about getting high, you messed up when you came in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. If you was going to get high, you should have stayed out there. Because when you come up in here, you witness something that can't go away. And that's why you see people hurry up, get back, because they be like, damn, I bet you they at that meeting right now, you know? And that's what happened. You be trying to be in the crack house and you be seeing us. And they be, you know what I'm saying, and that basic text be jumping up in your mind, and you be like, Lord, boy, look. And you come dragging back with arrows in your back. Open the door, let me in. You know, so if you here, stay here. So I looked at that like it's, you know, like the new meeting, you know, and coming here is the same way. I feel the same way. Each time we come up here, bring somebody with you so they can experience this, you know, because I just believe in my heart that it will impact and it will change their life. And guess what? We done brought people up here, they was like too city-ish. You know, it was like, I can't wear a suit. I mean, no gaiters. You know, no, this ain't the gator meeting. You know what I'm saying? This is not the gator meeting. Huh? Where y'all gonna stay at? Ain't no hotel room? No, we staying in the woods. Oh, no. I laugh at them, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all don't know, man. We have Detroit is just a popular, fun place to recover at, man, because we have all walks of life. All walks of life. People trying to find out who they is. They dress up to try to think who they is. And, you know what I'm saying? Oh, especially at the DACNA convention, man. Some of them be putting their gas bill on hold to get a suit. And you know what I'm saying? You know, one guy, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny, it's comical, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they have to do, you know, and you got to love them, man, for who they are, you know? I do. I'm just glad that I found out for me what I had to do, what was my priorities in the Rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, because it's important that you get with somebody to make sure your priorities start to become important. You know, if buying a car means more to me than trying to learn how to be responsible, something wrong with that. I think I got my stuff twisted. I'm grateful for my sponsor. My sponsor showed me how, you know, even through my storm that I talked about, I still had enough experience. I had practiced enough of paying my investments off, like my heating, my lighting, my gas, you know, my insurance on my home, my insurance on my truck, my insurance on my little car. You understand? I still did not miss a beat paying them people. As much as I thought I was enjoying what I was doing till I got the pain, I still didn't miss a beat because I got a sponsor that showed me how to continue. Handle your business, Rob. That's what he tell me. Handle your business. Handle your business. And so that's what I mean when I say, don't let no one encourage you, man, to think that going to a convention is more important than handling your personal affairs. Because then you're going to lower your own self-esteem. So I don't do that today. That's the reason why I know I work my program, because there's some things that I just will not do in Narcotics Anonymous. I just won't do. I hope to continue to make conventions. I hope to continue to stay on this path to recovery. I just like to think the Detroit area, the Indiana area, the other areas that came in tonight, took the time to spend to allow themselves the privilege of listening to my message. Recovery is real good to me. You know what I'm saying? On this 18 years, it's been a day-at-a-time journey. It's been a day-at-a-time journey. I haven't found a reason to use dope in 18 years. And I ain't, you know, the only one real good reason I won't pick up no dope, because I don't want my sponsees to end up being my sponsor. I just can't even fathom Walter telling me, man, dude, go stop making coffee, Robert. You know what I'm saying? I love him too, man. So I got a lot of friends. I got Indiana friends, man. Even if next year, if it look like I can't be here for the whole weekend, if it's got anything to do with God and my health, and I need to share that too about my health. I'm grateful to my lady today, Anicia, for showing me how to live healthy. Bob and them rolled by me earlier today, and I was trying to get my walk on, right? I'm trying to live today. I don't know, I wasted a whole lot of time trying to kill myself, right? And if I hadn't surrendered when I did, I probably would have been up here in a wheelchair, because I had shot drugs from my head to my toe. And I was on the verge of losing both limbs if God hadn't intervened and found hope for me. So selling dope to the police sounded like a good idea when it did. You know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of wonderful spiritual awakening since I've been in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And this is a spiritual awakening for me and everybody that's here. And I'd like to thank everybody that came up to Camp Mac with me to support me this year. I love y'all. I just do. Kim, thank you guys for breaking bread with us today. Thank you for being a grandparent. That's some good stuff, man. Grand is good stuff, man. And thank the oldest member, Brian, for being here. That was a wonderful thing last night y'all put on. Man, where y'all be getting all these ideas? We gonna steal some of them. Y'all need to know that. So I'm truly glad to be here. I love y'all. And if I said anything this evening, please don't get a credit to me. Get a credit to God. Thank you.